Welcome, welcome. Let's go ahead and hop into this reading. This is a pick a pile reading for your love life. What is blocking you from manifesting more love into your life or manifesting a partner? So this reading is going to be for those who have been single and they're longing and wanting for that person that is going to fulfill and complete them, to allow for them to feel that very significant and profound frequency of love. This reading could also be for those of you who are already partnered up, but you kind of feel a division within you guys' relationship and you are wondering, what is blocking us? You want to feel that spark. You want to feel that that love is alive. So this reading is going to help you as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cards that I have for you when it comes to what is blocking you from manifesting more love into your life. So this is number 1. This is number 2. And this is number 3. So go to the one that you are drawn to. Again, number 1, number 2, and number 3. Let's go ahead and hop into this. All right. For number 1, the first thing for you is the frequency card in itself. It is a frequency to bring out this childlike essence, to play, to find your joy, to have fun. The cards that show in for you is the Queen of Cups in reverse, which is all out naturally that blockage when it comes to opening the heart space. And then also the Queen of Swords comes in upright. So for me, I feel like what is blocking you is that almost being very strict in how you're evaluating others, how you are looking at others. I feel like for you, you tend to see you kind of go towards the negative or the bad parts of this person. And I gotta say, sometimes that's actually okay because we want to protect ourselves. We want to look out for the red flags. We want to be aware, especially if you've gone through some things in the past and you're like, okay, I've got standards. I'm not, going to just allow anybody to mull over my heart, break my heart, bring me more trauma, bring me more pain. I'm just not going to allow it. So I'm peeping out and looking for anything that looks like a red flag. And that's okay. But what I'm seeing here is almost to the point of being picky. Like one big toe is it's wider than the other one, or the haircut isn't right, or the voice in itself isn't right. Like being very, very, very meticulously picky over the very fine details. Okay. And I feel like, I gotta be honest with you, I feel like you are making excuses, for putting yourself out there, for opening your heart because of fear. You're scared of getting hurt again. And I would say because of this blockage, it is closing off that frequency of being able to connect with someone, of being able to see who they truly are beyond the haircut, or beyond the tone of their voice, or beyond what they do for a living, or beyond those things. There's just this feeling that you're using those things as an excuse because of that fear, because you haven't truly dealt with the root of what is blocking you. There is just this leftover residual sludge that's very bitter and very fearful and very it has a frequency of like resentment, blaming complete strangers that are trying to connect with you for, problems from your prior partner or things that you've experienced in the past. So this to me closes off the heart center. It closes off that energy that says, I'm open to trying, I'm open to trying to connect, I'm open to getting to know you beyond just what I'm seeing at face value. So you're closing your off to some really good perspectives when it comes to someone who's truly going to love you, someone who is truly going to care for you, someone who is going to protect you with all that they've got. You're putting up these protective mechanisms, and trust me, I get it. I'm not here to down play this or fault you or say, "Oh, you so wrong." Like, I get it. Trauma and heartache and pain. It's very strenuous. It's it takes a long time to heal through those things. So for you, I want you to take a look at the times that you have used an excuse to block love, the times that you have found petty things in the details. I'm not talking about the big red flags to where you're like, okay, that's a definite red flag, not good for me, not in my highest good, so I gotta walk away. No, I'm talking about the little details that you're using as an excuse not to open your heart, okay? So think about the times that you felt very cold inside, that you felt that frequency of having your heart chakra shut down to where you're just not budging, you're being very stubborn, you're being very strict with your heart and the love frequency within yourself. So this, for me, this frequency card right here is all about opening up that heart chakra. It's all about tapping in to the joy that you could be vibrating at if you were to open your heart and allow yourself to explore. That's another point of this card, is to allow yourself to explore the possibilities. Allow yourself to explore the possibilities. You never know. That guy or that girl with that weird haircut that you are downplaying because, oh, that's not your style, recognize that that may just be an excuse. That may just be an excuse because you're scared and you may not truly be ready to move forward. Go backwards just a little bit. Heal your heart and allow for that space to explore and to open up to love, okay? No more excuses. No more excuses. It's time to be very vulnerable, open, and honest with yourself because you are blocking that love. You are blocking that love. And this could also play into those of you who already have a partner and you are nitpicking at the very small things. You left breadcrumbs on the counter. How dare you? You did not fold the laundry the other day when I asked you to. How dare you? Finding certain things that could really just be handled by communication. Using that as an excuse or holding on to old things that has already been talked about, but you're still holding on to them and bringing them into the conversation a year later. You are using that as a protective mechanism because you feel as though you already know what's going to happen. You already know who this spouse is. You already know who this partner is, and you know their next moves and you know what they're going to do. Well, I feel like with this frequency card for you, it's really about coming to acknowledge that every single one of us are changing and growing and evolving over time. And just because they used to didn't clean up over themselves or, they did certain things, that doesn't mean that they haven't grown from that experience. So, look at the times that you're using that as an excuse to really share with them the resentment that you hold inside instead of just communicating with them and saying, hey, I'm still angry about this. I still hold on to this, and it's really funneled into resentment. And I'm just going to need your cooperation so that I can heal from this. And I just need that space to actually do that. So just kind of bear with me because I know and I see that you have grown and I'm trying to grow too. All right. So again, open your frequency to explore the potentials. Don't block it out. Don't barricade it with this rigidness, this very strict way of being, and looking at the very petty details. Allow yourself to expand beyond that and open up to exploring your guys's potential lovers, potential love frequency, and the potential of the love you can share with your spouse if you already have one. Okay. All right. So number 2, and that was this one. And I feel like with this one, there's almost this frequency of like spinning a compass, like, which way do I go? I had a plan and that plan isn't going the exact way I thought it would. Maybe you are here because you felt you were going to be married by the time you were 25. Maybe you are here because you had exact plans on children and your future, where you were going to live, who it was going to be with, and somewhere along the lines those plans fell through. But you're having a very hard time letting go of what you thought was going to happen. So your expectations are actually blocking you. I feel like, you have the Ace of Swords coming in paired with the Nine of Swords. And this to me feels very heavy in a sense that you really dwell upon how things didn't pan out. You really, really dwell upon that. Now, this could cover a wide variety of things. Um, you know, the person you're going to be with, the age, the place, the how, the whens. I'm also picking up on some of you with pregnancy as well, wanting that to be a very specific way. I'm feeling this is between partners already. And you guys weren't seeing eye to eye, and it's really put a wedge in your relationship. Um, you can even expand this beyond pregnancy, but birthing a life together in a way that you had certain plans and the other partner was not on the same page at a specific time. And it's really caused this disassociated frequency between the two of you, because at one point you had it all figured out, whether you're in a relationship or not and you're seeking that partner. At one point you had it all figured out, and it's almost like this, it's not even about seeing the compass anymore. The compass is lost altogether, so you don't know which direction you're going in, you don't know what you're doing, you're feeling at a very still stagnant energy, not even knowing what you desire anymore. So for some of you with spouses, this could be kind of that ultimatum vibe, to where you're like, if this doesn't happen, then I'm ready to walk away from this relationship. And for those of you without a partner and you're wanting that love in your life, this looks like kind of giving up and just saying, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. I'll do it by myself. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. But when it comes down to it, these sleepless nights, you are really dragging this out. You are really sitting in this worry and despair and fear, because ultimately you don't even know what you want anymore. And so your block for you, I feel, is like really getting vulnerable and open with yourself enough to be honest with what you want in your future. Okay? It isn't about the plan that you expected anymore. Okay? Because obviously something has changed, something has shifted, something has turned that wheel, that compass for you. And now it's time to come up with a new plan. But you got to broaden your expectations, okay? Because that feels to me what is blocking you. It's almost like, you're trying to walk the straight and narrow path of what was, but you're missing out so, so much on what can actually be. Okay, so it's time to get vulnerable. It's time to get honest and open with yourself. Realize what your new dreams are. Just because those old dreams didn't pan out, or the ways that you expected them to be didn't pan out, does not mean that you can't create new dreams. Does not mean that, if you thought you had this expectation of being married by the time you are 25, it doesn't matter. Maybe you get married now by the time you're 35. Who cares? You can always create new dreams. You can always create new dreams together. And maybe for those of you who are in a relationship and you've created this wedge between each other because you're just not on the same page anymore, well, scratch those plans. Let's draw up some new plans. Let's see where each other stands, and let's see what we can create together. Stop blocking your love because you're not willing to get vulnerable and open and honest with yourself. Talk to each other about your fears. Talk to yourself if you're single and wanting to bring that love in about your fears, about your new goals, your hopes, your dreams, and what you're trying to create. Either, if you're alone and you're trying to create this, relationship, you want to bring love into your life, what does that look like for you now? Regardless of what the expectation was before, what does that look like for you now? It's never too late. It's never too late to shift, to change, to spin the compass back around. So, my message to you is follow your north, follow your heart, okay? Create, and be very, very honest with yourself, okay? Number 3, let's see. So, this is the frequency card that came out for you. And I'm feeling like there is this note of, for one, going in the wrong direction and getting stumped, like to the point to where you're just ready to throw in the towel and give up. I feel like for some of you, there's been so many decisions coming in for you in all directions. Like it's all of these energetic lines just coming in for you in all directions. And it's almost been too much, too much. Like somebody, maybe it's your spouse, is placing too much on your plate, and you're trying to be strong and handle it all on your own. And I don't think your spouse realizes that, that's really causing you a great upset inside, to the point where you're ready to throw in the towel because it's so overwhelming, okay? But I also feel this in those of you who are alone and wanting to manifest and create and bring love into your life to find that partner. I feel like people around you have placed too many expectations on you, too many decisions on you. This could come in all forms, like when are you going to do this? When are you going to, get married? When are you going to have kids? This could also come in forms of arranged marriages too, I feel, for some of you, having those expectations placed upon you. And it's just like hitting a brick wall is the energy that I'm feeling with this. It's like the storm has become too much, so you're seeking shelter. You have the Star card coming out, which is really a lot of turbulence going on, a lot of things happening around you. And, you just want to hold on to this frequency of hope and try to endure and try to move forward through this storm. But, the waves are just crashing at you, and it's becoming too much. And I feel like because you aren't taking that stand to say, hold up, red light, I need to breathe. Calm down, everybody. You can handle this. This is a little too much. If you're with the spouse, you can communicate openly about this being too much pressure for you. That it is ultimately creating this divide between the two of you. And you are pretty much at the point to where, you're trying to dig yourself out of this hole with this overwhelming feeling, and it's really dimming the spark between the two of you because they're just placing way too much on you. So, open, honest conversation with them. Let's come to a compromise on how we can best serve this relationship as well as each other, so that it's 50-50, ultimately working towards our goal of both of us 100 and 100. When you're weak, they can be strong and they can take on more, and vice versa. Come into that understanding with each other that it can't all just be one. And then for those of you who are single, who are trying to manifest love into your life, you've got too much on your plate. So the universe kind of sees you all served up with all of these factors, and you're carrying around that sensation or that frequency of being overwhelmed. So obviously, the universe works in that way of connecting to your frequency. So it's not going to place more on your plate until some of this other stuff is handled. And that's also handling the expectations or the things that people are bringing and putting on your plate. So if you're not opening up your space and your availability and your heart to love itself, maybe you're even doing it on purpose for some of you. Maybe you're keeping your mind preoccupied, diving into work, diving into other people's stuff, diving into this and this and that and this and that and this and that, to where you keep your plate full so that you don't have to think about, anything else. Well, that you're blocking yourself from that love factor. You're blocking yourself from opening up to that availability of having to invite someone in and connect with them. So declutter whatever the case may be for you. I just gave you some small examples of what this frequency could particularly be, but ultimately take this how it resonates and see how that fits into your life. Where can you declutter? Where can you look someone and say, this is too much. Let's come to an agreement to where we're both cooperating and compromising with each other. And this is how I truly feel. And let's see if we can get something done about that so we can best serve this relationship, or, outside factors as well. Just coming to terms with that and saying, hey, I've got a little too much on my plate right now. And I want to free up some space in my life because there's things that I long for and desire. And this is really bogging me down. So declutter, open up, no more brick walls. When you hit a brick wall, it's time to stop, take a deep breath, and see how you can outsource some of these things, declutter some of these things, and open up for that space, that availability to invite more love or love in itself into your life. Hope these readings helped you guys as you begin to tap into that frequency of love. May all of that just flow into your life. It's a beautiful thing. I'll see you next time.